Hey everybody, how's everybody doing today? Hopefully you're having an awesome day. So I got a really cool, awesome, special uh, live today, hopefully. And I have Dustin from Keto Simples here. So welcome. I really appreciate you coming over and spending some time with me. I've been a big fan of yours and watching your channel quite a bit over the year, and really enjoy all of the reviews and some of the cooking videos that you do, and the banter between you and your wife. And so I really appreciate you coming on and taking the time to spend an hour or so with me. So
I appreciate it. Excuse me. I appreciate you having me on.
yeah,
I mean, it's really cool to actually kind of sit down and talk with you. I mean, we chat a lot in the chats and all the lives and such, but we never got a
yeah,
chance to talk like this. So I'm really excited about it.
yeah. So tell me a little bit about your keto journey, and the story behind how you got started on the whole thing, and
Sure.
all that
Yeah.
kind of cool stuff. And
So it kind of started as I had a hinal hernia. It was like sticking out of my belly pretty bad. It was like a fist-sized hernia coming out of my belly button,
wow.
and I let it go for like 6 years. I don't recommend doing that. But I'm
Yeah,
stubborn, right? I mean, when I say
yeah,
I'm stubborn. So Shanda's a nurse, and she was always complaining. I mean, I had it just before we met. We've been together a little over 12 years now, and so I had it kind of coming into our relationship. She's like, "You got to do something about that. You got to do something about it." And finally, like, she finally talked me into it, and I go to the doctor, start setting up the appointments for that, and I step on the scale, and I'm 421 pounds.
wow.
And when you're that big, you're that big, but your
Yeah,
brain hides it from you. You know what I mean? It's like you see it, you know it, you go from 4x to 5x, and you know what I mean? That's the kind of thing. Like, I had started buying 5x shirts and 50-inch waist pants, and I mean, but you don't know. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah,
you lie to yourself, even though, I mean, it got bad. Like, I mean, it was at that point I wasn't even able to use our downstairs bathroom anymore. So
wow.
I mean, like, that's like our powder room is narrow, so like getting in and handling business, just couldn't do it anymore. The same thing, I like work and stuff. So get on the scale, 421 pounds, and we started talking about weight loss surgery. And at the time, the floor of the unit that she was a nurse, she saw a lot of complications from those surgeries coming to
Yeah,
her floor. So she says, okay, let's try this low carb thing. We didn't know keto at the time because it was
yeah,
right before the keto boom, if you will. And she said, let's try this low carb thing. And if this doesn't work, we'll give it a real solid go. And if it doesn't work, then we'll look into surgery. Because I didn't want surgery. Because I mean, in the whole process, I was going through the hernia surgery process, and I had that surgery kind of right in the middle of it, like in the middle of us starting and learning everything. And I don't recommend that either. I mean, I recommend getting it taken care of, but that surgery's awful. But
yeah.
yeah, so we started looking at low carb, and we don't know anything about low carb. We don't even know really what a carbohydrate is, right? So I mean, just 100%. I feel like people today kind of, it's like a double edged sword today because one, there's keto everything,
Yeah,
there's
there
low
really is.
carb everything, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, but then you're still looking at all kinds of other stuff. But before I get sidetracked by my own brain, so we go to the grocery store. We start looking at every single aisle, every single thing in the grocery store. We did this over 2 trips to the grocery store. We were looking at quinoa. We were looking at everything that everybody, all the stuff that we're told is healthy, and we go over everything in the grocery store with a fine tooth comb. We realized, man, carbs are in everything. Like, so, and then we're not doing low carb. We don't really know what low carb means, right? So
yeah.
we were doing like 150 grams of carbs a day in the
Wow.
very beginning. Which was probably significantly better than what we had been doing. So I was like, the very, very beginning, doing low carb, if you will. I was taking like oatmeal with like some chocolate chips in it and some honey and, you know, granola on top. And I'm like, yeah, this is going to be good. I'm going to lose, you know what I mean? And start going down the rabbit hole of recipes and what's a low carb soup. And I kept coming across this word keto, but most of the things that that were popping up were on, at the time, were on the children's website. It's for epilepsy, this epileptic children's keto recipes, right? Because at the time I was really kind of, there was, you know, like there were a smattering of people out there who were talking about keto, but it was few and far between, and I hadn't quite got to my YouTube addiction yet. So I went to podcasts and I started looking at podcasts like, well, what's keto? And my GP at the time had said, well, you know, if you want to lose weight, you got to be in ketosis, which is weird, right? Because a GP shouldn't tell you that. But he didn't elaborate. He just said that in passing, and we're like, well, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, there's the rabbit hole. There's me looking up ketosis, keto. I found 2 keto dudes at their podcast, Carl and let's sit here, forget his name, and he's the one I actually interviewed. Anyway, 2 keto dudes, and I listened to every single episode they have. It was like a year and a half worth of episodes in like 2 weeks. And they're going over recipes and keto best practices, and this is still the early days. So, that's how we fell into keto, was me going down that rabbit hole, because that's how my brain works. So we find it. We decide a start date. We started keto, which was September 11th, 2016. And we've been doing it ever since. We never stopped.
Yeah. Well, that's really great. So before we get too much further, so Jason's in the house. So, hey, Jason. Bob's here from Semi-Retired Bob. Tom Garvey's here. Amanda's here. Mike's from Ketorific Journeys here. Let's see. Renquin 96 is here. Got quite a few people coming in.
The whole gang is here, man. All these great people watching us talk today.
Yeah. Grill.
Bob,
The grind with Will is here. So
the other day, Bob was doing a live, and he was talking about me in his live, and he was saying something about like how I do with my reviews. And I went all like this morning, like 2 hours this morning, trying to figure out how to get a screen recording of a little clip of his video so I could like record it and then put my own thing on it and like make it funny, but I just couldn't. I could get it to record, but I couldn't get any audio. I spent so much time on that today.
Yeah, people don't realize how much time you spend on trying to do edits and trying to, especially you're pretty creative on some of your posts, especially some of even the shorts you're pretty creative of on how you do them and how you come up with them. So,
so that was kind of like what happened. So the YouTube thing for me is like right towards the end of 2020. Yeah, 2020. So 21. So I've been doing YouTube really since 21, 22. So I really kind of jump-started YouTube in 2021. I put out like my first video that I edited and put together all myself on the first day of 2021. I'd had a video that went up in 2020, like February of 2020, but my buddy did all the editing and put the music in and did all that stuff for me. And then it just sat there, and I didn't do anything with it for a whole year almost. And then I lost my job at the end of 2020, and Chandra and I decided that I would stay home. I wouldn't go find another job. I would stay home, help take care of the granddaughter, because she was here 5 days. She's here 5 days a week right now.
Yeah.
So I'd take care of her, take care of the housework, basically be a stay-at-home grandpa, right? And give YouTube a shot. I mean, she realistically gave me this opportunity, and I'm not going to waste it. We're not making any money. But I mean...
You're just getting to that point where you're starting to probably start seeing a couple dollars anyway.
I mean, I've received two checks from YouTube since July of last year.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Not a lot of money, folks. We're talking pennies a day.
Yeah. Yeah,
but it's worth it. I mean, at least to me, to
yeah.
be able to reach out and make acquaintances and friends across the country, across the world. I mean, I've been able to reach out. I've been able to communicate and talk with Sahil from Headbanger's Kitchen. He lives in India.
Wow.
I mean, how
Yeah,
else would
that's
you use to
awesome.
get to know someone like that, right?
Yeah, horns up, you know.
Yeah. I mean,
I like his channel. He's good stuff. So, although he doesn't do much keto anymore, he's not, you know, but he still does
well, the
keto
good thing,
recipes occasionally.
he still does. He just doesn't live a keto lifestyle anymore. I need to I
Yeah.
need to talk to him a little bit in depth on a thing like this as well. But
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that kind of make that transition in and out, and
yeah. So the cake and no eat meat day said a long time ago he thought carbs equal cardboard. So I guess I kind of
know.
Yeah, I kind of thought too. Oh, the food is terrible. It's, you know, you're so deprived, and how wrong could I have been, right? So,
I mean, in the beginning, it was rough. Like that in the beginning, walking to the grocery store, you know, like you'd have to kind of do like one of these things. You're walking by the cookie aisle or whatever.
yeah,
And now, like, I can walk up down the chip aisle, doesn't bother me. Go down the cookie aisle, doesn't bother me, because they will smatter keto stuff, you know, throughout the aisles. And our
yeah,
channel, what we do obviously is we do keto reviews. So I have to kind of scour and look through the grocery store on a weekly basis looking for things to review, because if I find them, other people are going to find them. Other people are going to think that they're okay. Sometimes
yeah.
they are, most of the time they're not. But, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So do you get a lot of people actually sending you product and stuff in to try, or is it mostly just you going out and?
We get some. I've had some. I just got a box of chocolate from Goals, Goalz. I think Joe and Rachel reviewed it a couple of months ago, maybe 6 months ago, maybe I don't know. Could have been a bit a year ago. I don't know. It's time to me anymore. It's kind of like, and it's kind of an anomaly. But they sent me a box. I'm not even sure how they got my information. I think Jennifer Lucas gave it to them. I think that's exactly what it was. And they sent it to the wrong PO box at first, and I had to go try to find it. And then, so somebody, whoever had that PO box, got a nice, expensive box of chocolate. And then, so
nice.
they did send it back out to me. I've got it on the kitchen table. We'll probably review it soon. I am an affiliate with Perfect Keto. They send me stuff. I've had other companies like Monk Pack has sent us a bunch of stuff. Sometimes they'll reach out to us if we have a bad review, like different companies will reach out to us and like, well, we've reformulated this. Here's a new stuff we're launching. Do you want to try this? See how this does. But we try not to do anything where we're, it's like we haven't done any sponsored content, if you will. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the only thing that really kind of is sponsored is the like some little like shorts and stuff that I do for Perfect Keto, like their sales and stuff, because I'm an affiliate, so that helps me with the channel. But other than that, yeah,
that's not really, I wouldn't call that a sponsorship. If you're an affiliate, you're just doing it because of the affiliation, not because of they're paying you. I
mean, they throw you a couple of dollars if you know when you make a post, but
it's really?
Like, yeah, I mean, it's just a couple of dollars.
Yeah.
Hey.
But
I mean, every little bit helps, though.
Yeah. Now, you and your wife both do keto together?
Yes, we started together. And the kids, when we started, did it even though they didn't like it.
Oh, really? Is that because
so when we started, they were like in their early teens. They were in their mid-teens when we started.
Yeah.
And they lost a bunch of weight, and now everybody's moved out of the house. So we basically live here by ourselves, except our granddaughter's here during the day, 5 days a week. And they'll come over for dinner and whatnot. But other than that, like they've kind of gone and just eat whatever they want and gain their weight back. And they know, but I think they're doing it right now because they're young, dumb, and they're kind of doing it out of spite, if you will.
Yeah.
Because, you want us to do keto and blah, 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 blah. And I know better than you. And I don't want to eat that stuff. I want to eat whatever I want. I'm an adult. So hopefully they figure it out before the disease finds them. I mean, that's funny, but I mean, it's still scary at the same time.
Yeah. So I was always told, even in the work I kind of do, is because I do change management at companies, and we always say, they don't want to really change until there's an emotional event where they're going to go out of business and they have to do something. And it's kind of the same thing in life. If you have to have almost a medical emergency, or you have to have some kind of emotional event, catastrophic event almost, to get serious. So, and it's even that way with me, I would think, because you kind of have it, you lose the weight, and then you just kind of go back to what you were doing, gain it all back, because there's nothing really that tells you have to do this to make your life a better you, healthier you.
Right.
So at least so I don't know. It sounds like maybe the hernia was what kind of pushed you into that lane. And for me, it was, my mother was diabetic and going through a lot of issues. I have a mother-in-law that just had a foot cut off, and just some things like that. And the doctor said, "Hey, I'm going down that same path, so it's up to you. You can either change or you can go down that path." And
my mom was diabetic almost my entire life. And in 2007, she had what we would say is like her first stroke. It was a major one. So, I mean, that was like we're left like half of her body paralyzed.
Yeah.
And that was a wake up call. And then, but at the time, dealing with her over the course of the year, so she had her first stroke in like 2007. And over the course of the next couple of years, she had multiple strokes and maybe even a couple of heart attacks and stuff. And then she passed away in 2013. I was at the time between 2013 and 2016, basically just resigned to the fact that, well, that's my fate too, right? That's just how it's going to be. That's how it's going to be for me, because that's what my mom went through. There's nothing I can do about it. That's just what it's going to be. And hindsight being 2020, I wish there was more I could have done. I just didn't know. And I don't know what because she was in nursing homes for most of that time. And then there's probably not a lot I could have done as far as nutrition and all that stuff. But, all the woulda, couldas and all that stuff kind of keep you up at night sometimes.
Yeah. And I know the weight reduction surgery, you had mentioned that too, because my mother actually did that. But she said she had a lot of complications from it. She seems like she was always having issues because of it. I have a coworker that had it done 3 or 4 years ago, and seems like every week he's back at the doctor for something, with her, so it's just, it's just been a lot. So, or just, if you controlled your diet, it might've been a lot better off. Right.
And the problem with it too, is I see a lot of people who probably don't need the surgery having it.
Yeah.
Like they just can't quite get their diet where they need it to be. They kind of get it to where they want it to be, and it's not enough. So then they give up and go with the surgery. I've had acquaintances, friends, coworkers, all who I don't see them really being big enough to justify weight loss surgery. To me, like, you're having weight loss surgery, you should be over 400 plus pounds, in my opinion. I'm no doctor, but I see some, like, if you're like 50, 60 pounds overweight, and you have that's a life-altering surgery. Like, your body's never the same.
Yeah.
And, like, basically, when you get off the surgery, you're eating a ketogenic diet, which is the funny part. And then you're taking fistful of pills every day, taking fistfuls of vitamins, because your body can no longer get the vitamins it needs out of the food, so to speak, because you're cutting down the track. And I just don't understand.
Yeah.
I guess it's got to be awful lucrative.
Well, it is. And I see a lot of people actually over a period of time start to gain the weight after about 4 or 5 years. They start gaining it back. And I have a friend that's in that boat where they put a lot of the weight back on that they lost, and they were good for about 3 or 4 years, and now it's coming back. So
I had a friend, an acquaintance from high school that I hadn't talked to in who knows how long. And then one day, out of the blue, I get this message on Facebook. Hey, how have you been? We haven't seen each other in a long time. I'm like, I don't know who you are. I felt bad because I'm like, I like to think I have a pretty good memory of faces. I mean, I don't always remember your name, but I'll know who you are. I know what we did. I know we went to that concert together. You know what I mean? But Oh, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
And finally, she had to send me her fat picture, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, I do know you." And she had gastric bypass, lost a whole bunch of weight. Her husband was like, "You're not fat anymore. I'm leaving you."
Wow. Really?
And she spiraled. She still didn't gain the weight back. She's still thin. It's like, but she kind of is one of those people that kind of comes and goes and disappears and reappears. And so I haven't really seen her or heard from her for a while. I think she got remarried, and that's why I haven't seen her or heard from her in a while. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's the kind of thing too. I've had other people that like a coworker where they were like, they went and they lost a bunch of their, their chest and their rear and all that stuff, and their husbands, and kind of why their husbands got with them in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, most of them stay, but you never quite know. That's a weird thing to think about. Like, well, if I have this surgery and I lose weight, is my life going to fall apart because of it? Because I mean, that's a drastic change in
Yeah.
appearance, and you
Yeah.
never know quite what you're going to look like either.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was good. Like I say, it was good for my mother for a while, but it did come back on her, and it did kind of, she got diabetes later in life, and it caused, that's what caused it, was the weight. And so Mike was saying Tom's leaving. He's going off to go play drums tonight in the strip somewhere, in one of the bands and one of the bars there somewhere. He's a drummer, so besides being
awesome.
a keto cook, he's a drummer at a band.
I need to go out to Vegas and party with. I need to go out to Vegas and party with Tom.
Yeah.
Chandra hates Vegas. I had to make an excuse to go out there. I want to go out for there's a keto convention that's kind of popped up in Vegas, but most people that are affiliated don't really always know if it's legit or going to happen or not, because I guess last year it didn't happen, or the year before it didn't happen.
It got canceled,
and they didn't get their money back and stuff. Yeah,
postponed it until this year.
Yeah,
to October.
I'd like to go to something like that, but I got to make more money first.
Yeah.
I am going to Ketopalooza though in Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm not going to any of the keto conventions this year, just because of the fact that I got too much other stuff going on right now. So we're actually got some other vacations planned and stuff, and so we'll see where that goes. Next year, I'm hoping to get out to at least one or two of them. So, and then Bob said that he had no idea what gastric bypass passes. Can have a triple heart bypass, costs about $275K. So I would imagine it's pretty far up there. I know most insurance companies don't want to pay for it, and you got to go fight for it, and you got to show medically why you want to have it done. But like I said, somebody's going to be making a lot of money off, because it's pretty common today. But
yeah, I just don't. I mean, and I know there's a place for it, and I just really wish. I know eventually, probably there will be. And Mike's right. Mike's right about that. Marriage should be more based on more than looks, but looks and sexual attraction play a huge part in that. I mean, it's definitely something that can't be overlooked. I mean, it's like you don't cross the room for someone's personality. You know what I mean? And that seems kind of mean, but you have to see someone from across the room or whatever. Then once you talk to them, they can either become more attractive or less attractive when you're talking to them.
Yeah.
But
they got to get you there first, right?
Yeah.
Pique your interest first.
It all has to be there. That for a relationship to really work, both parties have to put their effort in. Yeah. You have to both be attracted to each other. I mean, realistically, and got to be compatible. You see you see on camera really is basically a watered down version of what we're like in real life.
Yeah.
I mean, we have way worse potty mouths in real life, but
yeah. Well, you got to be careful on YouTube.
And we just don't want to alienate people watching us with bad words. I mean, they slip through here and there, but I mean, we're human, and sometimes it doesn't work to edit them out. It doesn't sound right. So,
wow.
But I mean,
now Bob's saying,
yeah.
I was gonna say Bob was just saying that I guess his brother's mad at him because he started carnivore about 3 months after, and he's thinner than his brother is now. So just by doing the carnivore diet. So now, do
Yeah,
you do have you done carnivore, or have you done
I
triple
did. I
BBB?
did the end of 2021 going into 20. Well, I did 100-day challenge. I didn't really make any content around it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really at the time really know how to do it.
Yeah.
But I did 100-day challenge, and I think I completed like basically 95 because we had a like an impromptu vacation kind of towards the end of it. But yeah, I've done carnivore. I mean, we're primarily carnivore BBB&E most of the time anyway. Except,
Yeah.
I mean, and like when we do our videos, so like usually you'll see videos over the course of 3 or 4 weeks, but those were all filmed in like one day. You know, like
Oh,
we're all
really?
wearing the same stuff. Yeah, like we'll batch record. We'll go in and I mean, because we're only taking a couple of bites of stuff. So we
Yeah.
can sit down, I'll get 8 to 10 things ready. Sometimes we'll record 12 videos in a couple of hours of us trying things and whatnot. So, I mean, so really that doesn't necessarily impact us like eating that stuff too much. And most of it either goes in the trash or just sits and kind of goes to waste in the pantry.
Yeah.
You get it cheap in Mexico, Mike said.
Yeah. I think I'd be a little leery about going and getting surgery done in Mexico.
I mean,
So,
there's a lot of surgeries that happen that you can get down there that you can't get here just because the FDA doesn't like it, probably because they have a drug
yeah.
that they use instead.
Yeah.
I would say that you definitely need to vet your people, your doctor in Mexico. But I mean, in most places, like they have major cities. I mean, it's not like
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess if you really looked into it and really did like you said, you really made sure everything was kosher and they were good doctors and then certified and all that other stuff. So, you just hear all the horror stories about people going into the Tijuana for cosmetic surgery and it going
Oh yeah, I
wrong.
mean, but I mean, combination lit filler donkey show. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. So, yeah. So you never know, but yeah. So do you track macros or anything like that, or do you are you just kind of intuitive to what you eat, or?
I mean, that's the thing. So I mean, that's the way that we eat is intuitive because, I mean, like I said, a bulk of what we eat is meat, eggs, cheese, and even for me, it's not even a lot of cheese.
Yeah.
Um, I actually had a little bit of cheese today, but just kind of preparing because we're gonna start a BBB&E challenge May 1st. So I figure I need to clean some of the stuff out of the fridge.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'll be there because I plan to do it until we go to Disney. So we're gonna start May 1st. We go to Disney in October,
Oh, so
like
you're gonna do it
the
all
end
summer.
of October.
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
leave on like the 22nd to go to Disney
Yeah.
of October. So I plan to do it for a long time. And I know like, we're gonna make a video about it because we're gonna outline so between me, Chandra, and our daughter, the three of us have birthdays in June. So I know that there's going to be at least one of those days we have some kind of birthday dinner that's not on plan or whatever. But I mean, and I figure 4th of July we're going to be out of town, so there's like a couple of days that, I mean, if I'm going to go that long, I'm going to have to plan real life into it.
Yeah.
So, and I'm going to not have coffee.
Yeah.
Because I do it every once in a while. I just kind of kick coffee for a while. So then when I go back to it, it kind of rejuvenates itself. So
Yeah.
now Chandra's going to do, she's going to do 30 days. She's going to do, or 31 days, whatever is in May. And
Yeah.
she's going to still have some coffee, has a little bit of cream in hers, because there's a couple of things that she can't go with. She just refuses to go without, but she'll do only eat the food as the triple B&E, and then have the coffee with her cream, or cream with her coffee and stuff, and then some electrolyte water. And I'm going to have electrolytes. I don't have enough of the unsweetened electrolytes to make it that long, so I'll probably have to utilize like just salt and some of the flavored electrolytes as well.
Yeah.
I should have enough of that. That's what sponsor I want. I want Element to sponsor me and to send me unflavored element.
Yeah.
That's
I had them and I thought to me, they were really salty. They're really salty. So
have the most salt or the most sodium of any other electrolyte. They've got 1,000 milligrams. So I don't think they're that salty as far as the unflavored for some reason. Because I did a 14-day water fast and I drank 1 or 2 of those every day. The unflavored ones. You just drop them in a bottle of water, throw them back, and they almost have oddly enough, to me, almost like if you're chugging milk, almost have that kind of,
Huh.
They reminded me. I mean, maybe I'm just insane, but it reminded me of milk, like a skim milk almost.
Yeah. They had a couple of hot and spicy flavors that I didn't. Both my wife and I both tried them, and they were not good. We didn't like them at all. I know other people that love them. So
yeah, we're not huge fans of those. We have them. Like the lemon habanero one is okay.
Yeah.
But the mango chili one, I don't understand how that's a beverage. But I mean, I know that there's different demographics and different tastes, and I like spicy foods, but something about drinking something that makes my throat burn is weird.
Yeah.
But I'm a weirdo. I like the chocolate and the cold drink. Most people don't. The other flavors are good. Yeah.
I can't say I've had the chocolate one, so I can't remember. We did one of those. It was at the time it was the sample pack, and you had to pay the shipping, and so we did the sample pack, and they sent us out with like 10 flavors or something like that, and
yeah,
and it was $7. Shipping now is probably 3 times that now, but
they've sent me stuff and like the sample packs and stuff. They sent me some stuff the other day. I guess I mean, we were talking about that whole YouTube sponsorship stuff. I guess they used to sponsor smaller channels. Now I think they start at 10K and above. So if you're a channel that has 10,000 subscribers and above, I think they'll sponsor content for you. Because I've seen Keto Focus and Keto Twins, and I want to say I've even seen Amanda Carnivorous Me is sponsored by them a little bit too.
Yeah,
just trying to remember the videos I watch.
Yeah, I know everybody from. I'm trying to think. There's a ton of people that they're sponsors. So the Megan and what the heck's I forget. There were somebody that used to watch and they've kind of fallen off the keto map.
Oh, Mega and Matt and Mega from
Matt and Megan,
Keto or the yeah.
They still do. They still sponsor. Element still sponsors them, and so
when they drop a video, they still get 40, 50,000 views.
Lindsay Murphy as well, and a few others.
Yeah.
So, hey, I don't.
The grandkid going where, Mike?
I think Disney is what he's talking about.
Oh yeah, she's gonna be 5 when we go because she's 4 now, but she turns 5 before we head to Disney. I mean, that's really the main reason the day that our daughter sat us down and told us that she was pregnant, Chandra's like having like a nervous breakdown, and I'm like upset, because like here her and her boyfriend are talking about how they're pregnant and all that, and like there's that disappointment and that frustration, and then I have to go and leave and go take our middle boy to bowling to meet up with some friends, and I'm driving over there, dropped him off, and on the way back I'm like grumbly, like, and then all of a sudden the epiphany hits me. I'm like, oh wait, in 5 years I get to go to Disney World and take this wonderful new human being and show them Disney. And I was like, yes. And so it's been a complete amazing, like me, like almost counting the days, like on a jail cell, like until we get there. So as soon as we were going to take her when she was 7, and then a couple of like 6 months, 7 months ago, I think I was sitting and I got one of those emails from Southwest, and they were like, you can go blah, 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 blah. And like Orlando tickets were like $79 each way.
Yeah.
I was like, let's hop down to Disney for a couple of days. Me and you go to Disney, just me and you. And she's like, didn't respond. And all of a sudden, we're like an hour later, we were watching TV, and then obviously she's like, okay, how about this? In October, when the girl's 5, we take her to Disney. And I'm like, done. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
It's going to
That's
cost us a
really
lot of money.
so I take it you're a big Disney fan. So
Oh, 100%. So
yeah,
I mean, like one for Christmas the year before, I got Shander like this really nice little purse thing. That's like the Haunted Mansion wallpaper.
yeah.
And she Disney clothes. She wears Disney leggings. She just got a Haunted Mansion set of Disney leggings yesterday. we
Wow.
love Disney. We've gone by ourselves before.
Yeah, that's cool. We live about 2 hours from Disneyland, and we've been there in the 10 years we've been here in Southern California. We've been once.
That hurts my feelings.
Yeah. Well,
I want to go so bad. Shander's been to Disneyland before, but I don't know if I'll ever. I mean, hopefully I'll get out there one of these days.
yeah.
And that's kind of why I was joking, not joking, but like wishful thinking. I want to do a low carb conference in Anaheim. I imagine that there's some kind. I don't honestly know much about Disneyland as much as I know about Disney World, but I imagine with all there's hotels in the area, and I imagine that if there's Disney hotels on the Disneyland property, I imagine some of them probably have to have some kind of conference rooms and conference areas or whatever, like convention space. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm surprised they don't have a big conference here in LA. They have one in Santa Barbara, but it's the metabolic one, so it's more, professionals, and then they have the low carb San Diego.
Yeah.
Which I'm
that's
not
why
really
I want to do low carb Anaheim and do that, and then like on one night, like say like the Friday or Saturday night or whatever, or Thursday night or whatever night it needs to be, to where like the conference ends at like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, because it starts later in the afternoon, like say noon or so, and goes to like 9 or 10, and then you just hop over to Disney after hours, and basically everybody who's in attendance can get to go in the park and explore, and just basically just the conference people. And I'm like, that's what I would really love to do. I know it would be ridiculously expensive to pull off, but I mean, nothing.
Disneyland is nowhere near as big as Disney World, so
I mean, Disney World itself is the size of like 2 Manhattans.
Yeah, it's huge. I know. I went there. Well, I was a long time ago now. I haven't been in years, so. But when I lived on the East Coast, we went a couple times. So, well, you go to all the parks, and it's definitely a week, if not more, to go through, see everything, and then So
it's like trying to go to Vegas and see everything in a trip. It's impossible.
Yeah. Yeah, we live close enough. We live close enough to Vegas where it's a 5-hour drive. So we've gone out. We go out once or twice a year. So I think we've seen every show in Vegas and just about.
So when I was 27, we went to Vegas for the first time, and my buddies and I we flew into Vegas, and then we rented a car and we drove to California, and we're in Riverside and Los Angeles. Then we went up to San Francisco. And so while we were in Los Angeles, we did stuff like went to Barney's Beanery. We saw a band play at the Whiskey.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think we've done all of the Circus Soleil shows. We've done a lot of concerts and stuff. So, but it's I've yet to meet Tom out there. I've been out there twice, and yet we haven't hooked up. So, but we will one of these times. So how's your diet changed over the years? So kind of get back to the topic of keto and weight loss and health and all that stuff. So how's your diet changed over the years, or has it? I know mine has. So
I think realistically it's simplified over the years. I think when we first started, it was driven by the fads. Because like I said, when we started, keto was kind of on the cusp of like being a thing, and then kind of exploded right as we were really kind of getting into it. And so the way we ate was dictated by kind of like what was new. So like when we started, like Instapot was new, and like cloud bread was new. And then all of a sudden here comes fathead dough, and all that stuff. So like we were spending all this money and all this stuff that we don't use now.
Yeah.
And so I think in the very, very beginning, I think we were more strict, but I think we were more diverse in what we ate. And now I think we're just a little less strict, but we've tightened up what we eat, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I know I kind of went from, doing eating the meats and the vegetables and all that kind of stuff. And then I kind of got into all of the keto stuff, the snacks and got into more loosening up to a lot of that crap. And then I've kind of gone back to kind of where I was towards the beginning, I guess. Now kind of, I've learned a lot about those things are not necessarily going to help me. They say it's only 4 net carbs, but it's 30 total carbs. So it's like, now I'm starting to, and it kind of went from just watching the carbs to learning more about the foods and eating what foods I should eat and which ones I shouldn't eat. And there's still a lot of controversy out there about what's good and what's not good and what's healthy and what's not healthy. And so,
I mean, we can't agree on anything.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to net carbs versus total carbs, I think you're always going to be more successful with total carbs in the long run. But I think in the short term, making that transition from, a standard American diet or whatever trash you eat, I think net carbs definitely come into play, and they definitely play a serviceable role. So somebody coming over and they're like, okay, what is it that I can have? And I think looking at net carbs is going to open up a huge window of opportunity to make them successful, because they're more likely to stick with the diet.
Yeah.
If you call it a diet, you know what I mean? The lifestyle.
Yeah. Lifestyle.
I think, over the course of this ketogenic journey, I've seen so many trends come and go, not only with food, but when I first started, one of the things that I did is I had a gigantic, I drink these 30-ounce cups. So I have like these cups here of coffee.
Yeah.
I have one every day.
Wow.
But in the very beginning, there was 165 grams of fat in one of these. That's 1,100 calories.
Yeah. Wow.
So 1,100 calories a day in just my coffee. And every once in a while, I'd have 2.
Yeah. Wow.
I was still losing weight. Maybe not as fast as others, but I think slow and steady is still going to win the race when it's coming to weight loss, right?
Yeah.
But I think
it's not a race.
And there would be people out there who would probably be like shaking with anger or whatever, or telling me that I'm stupid because there's no way I'm going to lose weight, even in the keto low carb community, that there's no reason I should have that much fat in a day. And they're probably right. But at the time, I did what I thought I needed to do. And I think that amount of fat kept my satiety to where it was manageable, because when you get to be over 400 pounds, you're hungry all the time.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of people out in this community that never got that far. Yeah. Thankfully, they never got that far. There's a lot of things when it comes to how big, when you get that big, like not being able to use the restroom in your house downstairs. The upstairs bathroom was more room, or there being a stall at work you can't use, and you have to go to the bathroom real bad. You go in there and someone's in the other 2 stalls, and you got to go to a different floor to use the bathroom. Those are things that people don't think about.
Yeah.
Or like I have a deformation in my sternum. You know what I mean? Like it has like a knot in the front of it from where it popped out from where I was so big, right?
Yeah. Huh. Wow.
And I imagine
Rick
I've got
from
varicosities in my legs and stuff too that stick out.
Yeah, Rick from Twin Acres is in here. Hey, Rick, how you doing? And Drunken Chef's in here. So I got some barbecue sauce or some seasoning from Drunken Chef. He makes his own seasonings, and pretty good. I've been using them. I'm actually we're cooking some. We're gonna make some Dijon chicken tonight, and we're actually gonna use some of that in the recipe for the Dijon chicken. So
That sounds good.
yeah. So
I'd like it. Shannon would not. She doesn't like mustard.
well, I'm not a big mustard person, but the Dijon, you're using so little of it, and you're mixing it in with the other spices, and it really, you don't really taste it. At least I don't taste it anymore. But it kind of gives it some kind of a different taste, just a little bit.
Yeah, more of a binder type thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's really good. So, but the Drunken Chef's, he's got that. It's salt. It's just his basic is just salt, pepper, and garlic in it. So that's good. And then he's got some got some habanero seasoning in it, and some jalapeno seasoning, and he's got one that's called Summertime. Man, that's spicy. So, but yeah, good stuff. So.
Heath and Shelley sent me a little sampler of their seasoning. I haven't got a chance to open that yet. I need to make a video thanking them for saying that to me. Yeah.
I thought about ordering some from them too, because what is it? The something clown, Tears of the Clown or something like that.
Yeah, that looked creepy.
Clown
Shannon would let me bring that in the house.
Yeah. Yeah. So how much weight have you? You mind me asking? How much weight have you kind of lost over the years? So
I got my lowest. I got down to 273, I think it was.
Okay.
And then that was like up until like 2019, and then we rolled into 2020 with the pandemic, and I've kind of creeped back up over like just around about 300 pounds. We'll kind of know when we do BBB&E or whatever. I'll do a weigh-in and see where I'm at. Because I think I did a weigh-in before. I think I got up to 340 again, which I think that just came from being in the house and everything going on, and food being really the only thing you could do. And I know, and that's a weird excuse, but like, I mean, when everything's shut down and there's nowhere to go, you really don't go out to dinner. You're not seeing people, there's a lot to that. And I think that really hit us hard. And I think we're slowly starting to still trying to crawl out from that. I mean, just that not going anywhere mindset, we still don't go anywhere. Everything's open. We still don't go anywhere. We used to go on Walmart dates. We used to just go walk around Walmart. Now we do this, and I do this, and I edit, and she does her stuff, and we don't go out. We don't do much. I mean,
we don't either. It's kind of weird because we're living in Southern California. There's a lot to do here. I mean, if you're into sports, we got two of every team. We got two basketball teams, two football teams, there's two of everything. There's like concerts almost every night of the week. There's some kind of concerts, in the area. There's tons of free concerts here. There's actually a ton of activity to do, but I don't know. This just like I said, the pandemic, it kind of all shut down, and you kind of got used to sitting around the house. And of course, now YouTube takes up, when I'm not at work, it takes up the other, 70% of my time. So,
and
interestingly enough for me, my wife is the one that told me to start this thing, and now she's kind of wishing she didn't, because now it's eating up all my time. And
so. I think we were kind of there, and then she decided she wanted to start her own channel. So I'm editing all that. I've still got to get her Tuesday video up and our Tuesday video up, and
you guys, if you haven't gone over, right, Dustin's channel is down below. So make sure you go over there and subscribe to his channel. Actually, you know what? I should have posted it in the comments, and I didn't. Usually I do that. I will post that in the comments here as soon as I pull it up. Tom's not here. He could post it for me, but give me a second, huh? So you want to talk a little bit about what your wife's channel is, maybe? And
Yeah. So her channel is her side hustle, right? So her, by profession she's a nurse, and she loves to resell clothing, stuffed animals, dishes. Her Zen place is Goodwill. I like, just like last night, I dropped her off at Goodwill. We went to
yep,
Costco, and across the street from Costco is a Goodwill. So I drop her off at Goodwill, and I come home, put the groceries away, got in some lives, chatted in some lives, did that stuff, and then made some steaks for her for the weekend, her weekend shifts, and then by that time it's time to go pick her up from Goodwill, and she buys stuff, and then she takes pictures of it, puts it on the internet, and sells it, and that's where we get extra money for like vacations and stuff. And she lights up. So I mean, if you get a chance to check out her channel, like, I mean, I know that most people probably won't find it interesting, at least as far as if you're just coming straight from the keto world. But hopefully hopefully her audience grows of the people who really enjoy that content. But for me,
yeah,
just I'm kind of in a weird situation because not only when she gets home, she opens up every bag that she gets and shows me everything that she buys. Then I get to sit and watch her tell the camera, and then I get to sit and edit all that too. So I see it 3 times. But yeah, I mean, she just lights up, and it's just something for her that she just truly enjoys. And I mean, really, I mean, it's kept her family together. Like, that's paid
yeah,
the bills at desperate times, and she loves it. And like,
huh,
realistically, like, if she doesn't go to Goodwill once or twice a week, she's in a bad mood.
yeah, uh, yeah. I know. I said I know my wife, because my wife's Filipino. So when I was actually working in Taiwan and she was in Taiwan, and that's where we met. Um, and but when she first came to the U.S., her big deal was to go into the Goodwill and find stuff that was really cheap, and a lot of stuff actually she finds stuff with new tags on them and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
um, and she does share a lot of that stuff with her family back home and sends it back home and stuff. So, um, but yeah, it's kind of interesting. Those things, some place I would never have thought to go and shop or go look around or anything
Yeah. I
else.
mean, the issue now is Goodwill has kind of become like the Walmart of thrifting, because at least in our area, and I don't know if it's in every area, but Goodwill opens up, then they basically drive all the other thrift stores out of town, out
Yeah,
of business. And then Goodwill's gone and raised their prices. They used to give like veteran discounts. They used to employ a lot of special needs people. They would do a lot for the community. I mean, and they still probably do some of that, but like all the discounts are gone. And like you can tell, and she knows more than me. She'll say things like the racks are so full because people aren't buying, because t-shirt used to be 99 cents, now they want $4.
yeah,
And it's like, and yeah, their overhead probably goes up, but at the same time, 100% of their inventory is donated. So I mean, and then what doesn't sell gets rotated out and goes to what's called the bins, or like these Goodwill outlet stores, and they're basically just thrown in these giant bins, and people dig and dig through them and find stuff. Then what doesn't sell there goes to landfill. So resellers really, because there's like a stigma with resellers. Oh, how could you go and buy something from Goodwill? That's for poor people and stuff. But realistically, there's no way that they're selling all of that stuff, and there's so much of it that ends up in landfills
yeah,
needlessly. So she goes and basically saves a lot of, like, she loves vintage clothing more than anything else. So she saves, there's a lot of stuff that she's really saving it in a roundabout way, because she saves it from going to the landfill, because if somebody doesn't buy it, it's going to go to the landfill. So she puts it out there, and it goes to a home of somebody who really wants it, makes us extra money. I mean, she's doing the work, she's sourcing it, steams everything, takes pictures, uploads. It's basically, doing, eBay or YouTube work, because she has to make a listing for each and every item she puts up. She's got over
yep,
500 listings and all that stuff. So I mean, it's a lot of work.
yeah. That's a lot of work. My big thing now is with the shipping cost just has kind of gone crazy, and even Amazon is kind of starting to waver away from their 24-hour deliveries, and now they're saying 2 days, and for the Amazon Prime folks. And I've ordered stuff out of Amazon. If you're not a Prime member, it could take you a week or 2 weeks to get the stuff now. So
yeah, I think that,
just,
I mean, we don't pay shipping. We don't do free shipping for our stuff. So
yeah,
I mean, the people you see on eBay and such that are doing free shipping are doing such volume that it doesn't bother them. But we do such low volume that the shipping would just eat into all of our profits. So we have people pay. I mean, a lot of stuff that's on there, there's not anything else like it on there. So then they're going to pay the shipping if they want it. So and
I'll even do a giveaway, and I'll do 5 packages of the Keto Chow, and it's $25 worth of food, and your shipping is going to cost you $25 or $30 to ship it.
Oh yeah, we just did our giveaway, and weirdly enough, we were talking about Element earlier. Element, I reached out to them and I said, hey, I want to do a giveaway, and I was only going to do one person.
Yeah.
For 3,000 on my channel, do you guys want to help me out? And they're like, okay, just send us the addresses of the 3 people. They said 3 people, addresses of 3 people, and we'll ship them the sample packs. I was like, okay. So then, I've got to go. Shit, I was supposed to go pick up shirts today. But we're going to give, we gave away the shirts and some other stuff. So I've got to get, those are being made. So those will go out this coming week. And
all right.
Yeah. Then we'll probably, I don't know what.
I just dropped her link, Chandra's link to her channel, and
that.
Drunken Chef said he's connected already with her. So, there's a lot of great channels here. So.
What's Drunken Chef's name? I try to keep everybody straight, but it's hard sometimes.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I have to go back and to be honest.
Maybe he'll put it in the chat if he's still around. But
he's still in the chat. So
I try to keep everybody straight. I need like a spreadsheet.
Yeah, him and Mike and Tom are pretty connected. There was a lot of barbecue in that whole barbecue community, and that goes on to Tom and Mike's channel and stuff. So I know actually there's a 805 barbecue junkie that he lives like in the next town over from me, and I connected with him over through Mike and Tom's channel. So one of them. I'm not sure which one or both of them but
thanks, Mike. And in Drunken Chef, I was like, what your actual name is. If you want, I don't know. I don't know how. I for the longest time we didn't tell people what our names were. We didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
And now it's a struggle to remember to do it. We'll do it at the end of the video sometimes. Like, oh. And it was weird because it was not till we went to a meetup here in Indy. We went to an Indy meetup where I met Jackie and I met Ready Set Keto, and Don does keto. And so Don and Mike, James and Emily, and they all came to Indy, and Shannon and I both met them, and we met all of them, and we really got better connected to, this whole community. So I think, I'd followed 2 Crazy Ketos for a long time. But it wasn't something that I wasn't really involved in a lot of the lives and all that stuff. And I think that's really something that it means a lot to me to be involved. And I was missing that aspect of it. It felt kind of like YouTube kind of felt lonely a little bit. I was like, I'm a creator. There's all these other creators out there. I didn't know who Emily and James were, or Dawn and Mike, and I didn't know a lot of them. And then now it's opened up, and there's more people than I can watch. I feel terrible. Like I follow so many people, but I can't watch them all.
No.
If I want to
I'm the same. Well, your channel has to come first, right? So I mean,
right.
Yeah. So Drunken Chef likes to be called Chef, so he doesn't really use a name on YouTube, so just call him Chef. He has his daughter on there too, and she's called Little Chef.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like we were filming, like Shannon and I were filming the other day walking. I haven't edited or touched it or anything like that. Still trying to kind of figure out what kind of content we're going to make during the BBB&E challenge and such. And I know we're going to be trying to walk more and stuff during the week.
Yeah.
but I don't know. I guess I gotta get better at that because that's just not what we've done. So
Yeah.
it's a new skill we have to acquire.
Yeah.
And we were walking with the granddaughter, so I'm doing everything I can to keep her out of frame. And she's wiry and running around all the place. So like, yeah, so because I mean, we just don't want her on camera. I mean, her voice will
Yeah.
be on camera because we're walking and she's talking and we're playing games and
Yeah.
but yeah. So I totally understand that.
Yeah. No, I mean that's each individual. So I did do the protein sparing modifying fasting back. It was about a year and a half ago or so, and I was really successful with that. I did that over the summer. Um, I think I did it like June, July, and August, and so it was like 90 days, maybe 120 days, and I found that really successful for me. It worked really, really well. Um, you know, and actually in mind eating, I don't know about, not eating, like people fast, every other day they're eating, and I can't do that, but with a one meal a day, I'm not quite sure I could do that. I like to eat too much. So, um,
I found when I was actually working, one meal a day was optimal for me because
yeah,
it eliminated the need to meal prep for the week. I didn't have to pack a lunch. I didn't have to do any of that. I just get up, get dressed, walk out of the house, come home, and then get dinner ready. And then I would eat. Usually it was like a one meal a day, but it was usually like I would eat within like a 1 to 3 hour window.
yeah.
Well, I
All right.
appreciate everything you do, Chef. And I will try to check out your channel and take a look. I don't know if we've talked before, but have fun
Yeah,
modding because I know I mod other channels too. So
yeah. Well, if you're into barbecuing and you want to know how to cook some great meat, he's got some really great recipes and stuff like that for cooking meat. Now, like I said, you may have to change them a little bit to ketofy them a little bit, and no barbecue
oh yeah,
sauce,
100%.
but
Yeah.
you know, but I enjoy watching some of those channels because I'd like to learn how to cook more on the smoker and stuff like that. I've started to watch some of like that carnivore Kip there. He does some barbecuing and stuff, and um, I'd like to get a little bit more into some of that stuff as we go. But uh, you know, living where we live too, we own our townhouse, but they have such rules here that you can't do much outside, so it's pretty hard
Oh
to have
yeah.
all those stuff out there and stuff. So it's kind of,
Well, I mean,
but
now with like the fancier grills, you don't want to leave them outside. I mean, like ours, we keep in the garage. We've got a
oh yeah,
pellet grill, and we keep it in the garage. And I cook in the driveway when I pull it out. I just pull it out like 10 feet, and I'm good to go. I mean, because we had a grill that was outside all the time, and it was a
yeah,
propane grill, and it basically just disintegrated over time.
yeah,
And then there was like a 2 year period where we didn't have one, where it finally fell apart, like all the gas lines like completely rusted through. And the last time it was ever used, the kids came over and like put charcoal in it. Like, okay,
oh.
weirdos. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I would imagine it's not made for that. It probably is not really good for it. So, how about
yeah,
you talk about a little bit about um, doing more activity? Do you do any kind of working out or any kind of exercising at all, or do you
I
do
have
any
a
kind of?
gym membership. It's a gym called VASA
Yeah,
Fitness. It's new and they're not in every state yet, but they're like super fancy. And like
yeah,
unlike a lot of gyms, it's super packed all the time.
yeah,
So that's weird for me. But they have a steam room, sauna, they have like hot tub, a full like a 3 lane Olympic size swimming pool. They've
huh?
got every weight you can imagine. They've got all this. They've got like the weird traction things like you can push. They've got the
Yeah,
ropes. They've got all the cardio. They've got red light therapy. You can work out in a red light room. It's basketball court. They've got everything. But
wow,
me trying to go every day is difficult. Getting
yeah,
because I want to stay there too long.
yeah,
I want to go and I want to do. I haven't got the courage to do weights there yet because like everybody looks like they know what they're doing and I have no idea.
yeah.
So there's that. But then I'll go and get on like an elliptical machine and do like 30 minutes on the elliptical. Then I'll go sit in the sauna for 30 minutes. Then I'll go sit in the pool for like 10 minutes and cool down.
Yeah.
And then I'll go and rinse off and then go home. And that's like an hour and a half
Yeah.
or whatever. I mean, it seems like it takes so long. So,
Yeah.
Hyla.
Hyla's in the house.
Yeah. So that's like me trying to learn people's names. Like Hyla, it took me forever to learn Hyla's name. And then it makes me feel bad because I see people like, I see you. Your name's easy because it's in your name.
Yeah.
But I saw you in all the different chats for so long. And then Crafty.
I try to join them as much as I can. But like you said, the time is limited. And there's a lot of times when I'm at work and I'm working on something like a spreadsheet or I'm doing something, I can turn it on and kind of listen while the chat's going on, and I can interject a little bit, but not a lot. I can't really sit there and chat a lot, but just because it's in the middle of work, and a lot of times, like I say, I'm at my desk. If I'm at my desk, it's easy to do. If I'm not at my desk, forget it. Because I don't carry my cell phone around me when I go out on the shop floor or when I'm out doing other things or meetings and stuff, just because it's very distracting. For me anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. So, yeah, I kind of try to get my steps in. I have a goal of steps I want to try to hit every day. I do go out because we do live in a warmer climate, so we get to walk year round pretty much. There's some great places to hike here that overlook the Pacific Ocean and stuff like that. You just got to be really careful and all that stuff. So, hate to say it, but California is also, because now it's almost a shame. You can't leave anything in your car, because if you go up hiking and park down the head of the trail, guys will come and look in cars and decide if there's something worthwhile going in there and getting. So, so we make sure we learned that the hard way one time, and so now everything either is locked up in the trunk, or we make sure there's nothing in the car when we go. So, but it's just a shame. So,
yeah.
But there's some.
Luckily, we're not that. Like, we're kind of out of ways here, so like we're still like in this. We're technically out of city, but our address is still city, and we're like kind of like. I don't know what they're doing, because like they're building a bunch of warehouses right around us now.
Yeah.
If they were open fields, and now they're all warehouses. There's like 15 warehouses that have opened, like that are being built right now, like right by us, like right in the back of our neighborhood and stuff. So they don't really affect us. We don't see them from where we are. But I mean, like, so we've got that, and then across the street we've got what's it? It's either O'Reilly or Lucas. I think it's O'Reilly now. O'Reilly Raceway Park or something like that. It's where they do like the Top Fuel dragsters and stuff.
Wow. That's pretty cool though.
So in the summertime, the summertime, every 15 minutes you're whoa, and it's loud. I mean, even still, we're about probably like the entrance is about like just across the street from our neighborhood. But then as you're driving back a ways back in there, and there's like campgrounds and stuff, but still it's loud, and it goes in like 1 o'clock in the morning some nights. Yeah, but
yeah, we don't have that. Actually, here it's believe it or not, we actually where we're living is pretty much all farmland here, but I'm gonna say we're 30 miles outside of LA. We're about halfway between Santa Barbara and LA, right on the coast. So we're 5 miles from the ocean. So we're living in what they call the Oxnard Plains, and but they put in an ordinance years ago that you could not build anything on the farmland. It had to be used for farming. So they've restricted, because they kind of said, well, Orange County was called Orange County because of all the orange groves, and there's not one orange grove left in Orange County. So they didn't want that to happen here. So they're huge strawberries. Driscoll's strawberries are here. They make, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries. They grow them, and so, but you're still close enough where LA. You still get all that traffic from LA because everybody's coming through town and all that stuff. So,
I think about living in LA, being like, man, I'm going to see that show, The Troubadour. Go hang out at the Viper Room. all that
Yeah.
stuff that I would love to do. Like go catch more shows at the go catch shows over at the whiskey and go hang out at the Rainbow
Yeah.
Room and then
Yeah.
go and see like stuff at like the Comedy Store.
Yeah. The trouble is that if you go, I hate to say it, a lot of that's downtown in LA. I mean, downtown in like Hollywood, and Hollywood is a pit. It really is not a nice area.
Yeah.
Not a nice
I mean, we
area
were
at
there
all.
in like 2006 and it was cool. We were standing outside, at night and like on the corner of the whiskey and like you'd see like a movie truck drive by and it was like, that's the weirdest stuff to see in real life. Like a limo
Yeah.
and a movie truck, camera truck.
Yeah. So Cena's here. So welcome. So yeah. So who are some of your favorite folks? Because I know you said, we cross paths a lot in a lot of the chat rooms and stuff like that. And so who are some of the favorite YouTubers that you kind of have been following of late? And
Mike over at Ketorific. Mike is amazing. He's such a cool dude. He's like been accepting and like super nice to me. And Tom, who's not in the chat anymore, and then and like Crafty or Hyla and Sana. I think am I pronouncing that right? Sana.
Yeah.
It's not Sana. It's Sana. Maybe.
Sana.
I try to
thought it
make
was
sure I'm doing everything right here.
Sana.
Yeah, it's Sana. I know. And then there's the people that I've gotten really close to Jackie, but she lives just in not far from me.
Yeah.
And then I've hung out with like Ready Set, like Emily and James and
Yeah.
Dawn and Mike and I've been to those meetups in Ohio with like Radical Geek and various others, and there's just the whole community as a whole. I mean, I just try to catch. I may not watch everybody's video every day, but I do watch as much as I can. I usually try to watch at least one video a month of everybody, at least to try.
Yeah.
Obviously involved with bigger channels where like Two Crazy Ketos, because their lives are going to bring everybody together. So that's a good place to kind of get together.
Yep.
And the same thing with like Ready Set. They do their lives now, and
yeah.
And I do other stuff outside of the keto world on here as well. Like on Mondays, I do a live stream with my buddy Brian. He does it's only Talk and Roll, and we've been talking to these guys. They're called the Rock and Roll Rowdies. So they kind of like developed like being a roadie, stage manager, tour manager in the 70s, 80s, and cut their teeth with acts of like the Average White Band to Linda Ronstadt, Genesis, Pink Floyd, just basically anybody you can think of. These guys have worked with, and they're a group of four. So we've, the last couple of weeks, over two different channels, we've been chatting with them individually, and that's been super fun. And because music is huge to me, I love music. So that's like, for me, like if I lived in LA, being able to go to like the Troubadour and the whiskey and that would be just like me knowing that I've been in the whiskey one time or Barney's Beanery one time, like that was amazing for me because like of the history and who all the musicians and the people that frequented those places. And it was weird because we were in Barney's Beanery having dinner and I walked back to the bathroom and passed David Faustino, who was playing pool. It was Bud Bundy.
Yeah, that's why I just say there's just so much to do out here. There really is, but but there's also all of the negative stuff that goes along with it. So,
now I do more than follow her channel. I edit all the content, and usually if you're getting a reply, it's probably from me.
Her channel link is in. If you look in the comments, the chat. Her link is in the chat. So
So I know Monday we're talking to. Let me see who we're talking to on Monday. I don't even know if it's up yet.
Now, is that on your channel or is it?
No, it's on my buddy Brian's channel, but I'm on there every week, and I don't know who's really into music or whatever. I think we're talking to Mao. rock and roll. He worked with Genesis and Pink Floyd and Peter Gabriel, and for a
Wow.
while he was what's the other guy from Genesis?
Tony Banks, or see who Tony Banks,
Like
and
I can hear it in the
Phil
air. I can
Collins.
feel it. Phil Collins. He was Phil Collins' right hand man, and they tell such great stories too. Like he was saying,
Yeah.
they were he was with them at Live Aid, and they had to
Yeah.
get on a helicopter to leave Live Aid, and his wife was with him, and she was upset because she wasn't going to be on the helicopter with him, leaving out of Live Aid with him and Phil Collins, until she realized that she was going to be on a helicopter with I don't know, I never remember his name, but Ziggy Stardust.
Oh, David Bowie.
Yeah, David Bowie. She would get to be on a helicopter with David Bowie, so she was okay then. But just cool stories like that. That's what I love about that stuff. It's definitely not keto, and I don't necessarily always promote it or anything like that, but
Yeah.
it's just something fun that I've been lucky enough to get to be involved with. So,
Oh, that sounds pretty awesome. Yeah, I'm a big music fan. A lot of the bands you were talking about, big, Genesis fan back in the day when they weren't even here in the U.S. I think the first album I bought was an imported album from when they were overseas in England, and it actually had a black cover to Revelations, and then they changed the cover when it came out here to be in the beginning when they came in the U.S. So big fans.
yeah,
And Peter
it's
Gabriel
really
was the singer, and Phil Collins was the drummer, and
yeah, I mean, it's so fascinating to hear these guys' stories because now they're in their 70s, and
yeah.
I think, and yeah, so they're in talks with Netflix to have a TV show. So hopefully that takes off,
Oh,
or that comes to
yeah.
fruition and then becomes popular because these guys deserve it. They have a lot of amazing stories.
Yeah. All right. Well, Matt Tresso's house is in the house. So he's
Matt
actually
Triggs.
one of the ones. Matt was one of the ones that really helped me get my channel moving forward. He gave me some pointers, and
Matt's amazing. I love Matt. He actually won one of our giveaways I don't know, about a year ago or so. We had done a Fat Snacks review, and we didn't like them. And they contacted me on Instagram and said, "Hey, we've reformulated. That's our old formula. Let's send you some new ones." And they sent us like 18 boxes of cookies.
Wow.
It was like an obscene amount of cookies. So we're like, well, what are you going to do with them? We're not going to eat them all. So we did a giveaway and gave three people. I think we gave 3 people for, one of each flavor they sent us. So everybody got 3 boxes of cookies.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty awesome. And Bob was saying that when his first concert was Kiss Live. So he saw.
I saw an article the other day. It was an article from Kiss playing the Indianapolis, and the opening band was AC/DC, and they were saying like, "Don't bother getting there for AC/DC. They're just noise," and blah 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 blah. It's like, what are you talking about? Actually, we were talking before Brian Johnson joined AC/DC. He was hanging out in London, and in Wilco, one of the guys from the Rowdies knew him, and before he was even in AC/DC, there was a whole other band that he was in before AC/DC.
Yeah.
Wow, so all kinds of cool little nuggets like that. That stuff makes me so happy.
Yeah. Now Tina says she's coming to the party late, so she'll watch it in the replay. It's never late, so
it's always better late than never.
That's right. And she's talking about her band Bon Jovi and Skid Row. Yeah, this one's a great band. So I got to tell you, so the Ventura Fair is out here in the summertime. And when they have the Ventura Fair, they actually have some really good bands play at the fair, and they're free, absolutely free. So we got to see like Three Doors Down. We saw, what was it, Skid Row. I'm trying to think. There was a ton of bands. There's always, there's like 3 or 4 country nights, and then there's a bunch of rock and roll nights. Jane Jett and the Blackhearts were here, I think, last year. It was some really great bands, and they're all free, and it's like all week like that, Like, I'm not much a country western person, so I don't
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know all the country western stars and stuff, but yeah, and more of them are not. They're and they seem to have like a one night that's like a 70s rock and roll, one that's an 80, one that's a 90s, then one that's more current or something like that. And,
Yeah.
um,
We used to have a rib fest here, and they would have like a whole day of like all those food vendors set up with all the ribs, and then they would have these music acts play. We went one year, and some friends of ours were playing. Reverend Peyton's Big Damn Bam were playing,
yeah,
and they're from Indiana, and some other bands had played that day. But all that stuff just kind of stopped, and that was like even they stopped pre-pandemic. So, and then
yeah,
our Indiana State Fair, they do like the free stage, and then so they'll have some big acts sometimes, and they'll go in and check them out.
yeah. Well, they still have them like at the LA fair and stuff, but they want you to pay to get into them, like 60, $70, and
Well, you got to
know,
pay to get into the fair usually. Like the fair, we go to the fair and we'll take our granddaughter. They'll do like it used to be $2 Tuesday, so it was $2 to get in the fair.
oh, okay,
And then they had
wow,
all these different vendors. Every vendor had a $2 item. So whether it be a soda would be like a big soda for $2, or they have a
yeah,
corn dog for $2 or whatever, right? So each
yep,
vendor had a $2 item.
yeah,
So we would usually go on those days. So it wasn't like, especially taking like if we were taking all kids, like there 6, 7 of us trying to pay, $10, $12 a piece to get in, and then everything's $4 or $5 an item, adds up really fast. So
yeah,
now I think it's $3 Thursdays.
yeah, yeah. Well, the other big thing here is the strawberry fest. They have a big strawberry fest in May, and that's pretty big here, and they'll have a lot of bands come and play. That more local bands though, but some of them are
Yeah.
really good. But hey, we've been out here for about an hour and 20 minutes or so, so it's time probably for us anyway. My wife's kind of waiting to. We started doing a video on Dijon chicken, so she's waiting me to finish the video so that we can eat. So, but
Well, I really appreciate you having me on. It's a lot of fun.
no,
It's
it's been
nice to
great.
talk to you and get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, you too. Maybe we'll have to do it again. So sometime
Of course, just let me know.
in the near future. Yeah, so this is great. I actually love having people on. When I'm on here and I'm talking to the camera, I feel like I'm just talking to the camera, and
Yeah.
it's hard for me sometimes to keep my concentration. And it's actually much nicer when there's somebody to banter with and talk and talk about different things and different items. So I know Jason's been on. There's been some really great people on the channel. So and everybody that's viewing, if you go over there, check out the other folks that are on here. I know like Tina's got a channel, Cena's got a channel, Matt, Jason, Mike, everybody. Just go check each other's
Don't
channel
forget
out.
semi-retired Bob.
Yeah, semi-retired Bob. Yeah. So he wants to get to that 5,000. I want to get to 5,000 too. I'm only a little under 300 away. So
That's amazing.
yeah. 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 I'm
Keep
pretty much in
grinding it
awe
out.
of it. Yeah. I'm working on it. I'm trying anyway. But again, it's not really the reason why you do it. It's you want to reach that 1 or 2 people, and that's the purpose of the channel, right?
I mean,
If I
but
help somebody
it is nice. It's nice seeing the numbers go up. It's nice seeing your analytics go up. It's nice seeing more people following you and the comments, but comments drive that, and
yeah,
just the interaction, the community, all of it comes in and makes it all worthwhile, because until you get to a certain point, there's no real money in it. And I know that
yeah,
money isn't the driving factor, but if you want to do it and make it a real full-time thing, that's a big part of it.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. When you see people engaging, it makes you want to do more of it. So
yeah, definitely helps
that's really
keep going, because it can, like I said before the end of last year, before I went to that first indie meetup, it was just I kind of felt like I was out here by myself. I knew there was more channels, but there wasn't, like, it didn't feel like a community to me. And
yeah,
now that did that, and I've been able to find this community and be embraced by this community, and continue growing with the community and seeing other people come up and grow. That's really, I mean, what it's all about too. So
yeah, nice. So is there anything? Tell me what's going on with your channel and stuff like that before we leave here, and kind of what's upcoming. And
I don't know. I don't know what videos I've got coming out next week. I've got to finish those up tomorrow, but I'll have videos Tuesday, Thursday. Chandra will have her videos out, and I'll post in my community tab the video the stuff the live I'll be on Monday and Thursday. Those are 2 different channels. So just keep an eye on the community tab, and I'll post other things that I'm doing if you like hearing my weird voice. So
yeah,
want to hear us talk to old guys who were roadies for big rock stars in the 70s and 80s. So
yeah, I think that's actually pretty cool. So awesome. All right, and Dustin's link for his channel is down in the description. So if you're watching this on the replay, go down there and make sure you check his channel out and show him some love. You know, I really appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. You know, so we're gonna get off here, and I'm gonna go finish my dinner, and so that my wife and I can eat. So
yeah, I just heard my wife just get home, so she just got home from work. So perfect timing.
All right. I will talk to you later.
Alan, it was great talking to you. Everybody in the chat, it was awesome getting the chance to hang out with you all. And I'll hopefully see everybody soon.